This is a video response to Professor Lawrence Krauss's assertion that teaching children about creationism is a form of child abuse.
Uh-oh. Looks like we got another one.
Before I look at this issue specifically, I'd just like to read from the book of Romans in the New Testament.
Of course you would. I mean, what better tool to use to argue with science than the Bible?
Romans chapter 1 verse 20 says, "For the invisible things of him," that is God, "from the creation of the world are clearly seen."
You do realize that you just said that the invisible things are clearly seen? Do you ignore that contradiction, or do you just believe it because it's in the Bible?
Being understood by the things that are made, even his, that's God's, eternal power and Godhead, so that they, that is mankind, are without excuse.
Oh no, I have an excuse. I don't just believe every little ancient explanation of the workings of the world and or universe that someone proposes. I require a little bit more than the scribblings of some long-dead individual who possessed no real knowledge of the working universe. Yeah, sorry about that. I just wanted to get through his overly long reading of the Bible. I mean, I thought the point of this whole video was to address Lawrence Krauss's assertion that teaching creationism to kids was child abuse.
So we see that even 2,000 years ago, when Paul wrote this letter, that there were university professors. A university professor is a person who professes, and these people, professing themselves to be wise, they became fools.
We gonna get to your response to Professor Krauss anytime soon here, guy?
In Professor Krauss's video, he states that creationists teach that the earth or the creation has been around for 6,000 years, but in fact the reality is that it's been around for 4.55 billion years. And he states that with absolute confidence, suggesting that he knows that to be the truth. But of course he doesn't.
Actually, thanks to a Caltech geophysicist named Claire Patterson, he does know that. Can we please get to the point of your video? You know, responding to the idea that teaching creationism to kids is a form of child abuse?
He also uses the analogy that people who believe in a 6,000-year creation are so widely off the mark that you can compare it to somebody who says that the United States is 17 miles across. The difference, of course, is that it's easily provable that the United States is more than 17 feet from the east to the west. However, it is not possible to prove that the universe has been in existence for 4.55 billion, that is 4,550, 000,000 years of time.
First, the 4.5 to 4.6 billion year age is in reference to planet Earth, not the universe. The age of the Earth was figured out using a number of methods and a plethora of evidence. Doubting it to be as old as scientists say it is, well, is just stupid, willful ignorance. As far as the age of the universe is concerned, it is estimated to be between 10 and 20 billion years old, and they also have evidence and ways of testing to figure this out as well. I am no cosmologist, but from what I can understand of it, it has something to do with figuring the speed at which the universe is currently expanding by, in a sense, clocking the rate of the expansion from us of nearby galaxies, and then measuring the recessional velocity of those galaxies. The reason there is such a large gap in the estimation is they are accounting for the possibility that the expansion of the universe is increasing in speed. And if it is, that means the universe may actually be even older.
Because he is, as his job title describes him, a theoretical physicist.
I take it by the emphasis on theoretical that you have no idea what that means and are about to say something really stupid.
He's purely giving his theory for the age of the universe.
Told you.
And of course he can find many other professors who will agree with him, but conversely there are many other academically trained and excellent people who would disagree with his theory.
Name some. If you're going to say there are many people who would disagree with him, name some. Oh, and quit calling it his theory. He didn't figure out the age of the earth. By the way, you might have wanted to learn what the hell you were talking about. At least the differences between the age of the earth and the age of the universe, and which one Krauss is referring to.
Now, to suggest that teaching creationism is a form of child abuse,
well, it's about damn time,
is preposterous. But also, let's just consider what the alternatives are. If you take Professor Krauss's theory to its extreme, first of all, by denying a creator, he is saying there is no God.
Evolution has nothing to do with whether or not there is a God. It just shows that man was not created in the way depicted in the Bible. And this gives a very good reason to not believe anything else in the Bible, including the existence of the God it talks about.
And that we, as human beings, are taught through the evolutionary system that we are just a huge number of mutations over billions of years that have evolved into what we see today. By saying that, he's saying that we're just mutants. And if we're mutants, then normally what you do with mutants, and think of cancer as an example, is you eradicate them because they are destructive.
Wow. And just when I thought you couldn't get any more stupid. You cannot compare evolution, a series of beneficial changes that allow all life on Earth to continue to exist through the continuation of their species, to a life-threatening abnormal cell growth called a malignant tumor, aka cancer. The two are nothing alike.
But of course the other problem with the theory of evolution that presupposes that there is no God.
Again, evolution has nothing to do with God or religion. It does not presuppose anything. It is a theory used for the benefit of not only learning our genetic history, but also to benefit us through helping make advances in medical knowledge, as well as many other uses.
Is that if there is no God, then there is no eternity, there is no purpose for living. We are just, after all, a series of accidents.
Your face is a series of accidents.
And therefore, there are no rules to live by. It's surely about survival of the species. And if he says that he has a concern for children, he has an odd way of showing it. Because to teach people and to teach children that they are nothing but an accident certainly doesn't do anything to raise their self-esteem.
Which is why evolution is explained in accurate detail in classrooms, not as a series of accidents. You have an odd way of showing you're caring for kids when you'd rather they believe obviously nonsensical books full of fairy tales as reality instead of what science has discovered. It's like you want them to fail as adults or something.
But also it means that they have no reason to live disciplined lives and to consider other people, because life isn't about anybody else but themselves. So, Mr. Krauss, if you really do care about children, then you ought to give serious consideration to your theories. Thank you for watching.
Okay, I usually end these with a long spiel of insight, but I don't think I need to do that here. I just need to say that if you need belief in God to have a sense of self-worth or a fear of infinite consequences to act like a civilized member of society, then you are the one who might want to consider what it is they believe with a little more criticism.